was like that they said that your mental capacity was the age of what?
A 5-year-old guy was like, no, tell her that you need help. And I was like, yes, ma'am, I need help. I wanted to kill the guy that I became. And then she yells out, code 9 or whatever it was, right? And I just remember they go in there and give me a wheelchair, bring it back out and say, hey, you know what? He wants to kill himself. And I kept on saying, no, I don't want to kill myself. I want to kill the guy that I became. I just remember just having that door cracked and my mom taking off around this little corner and just, flowing it. And all of a sudden I come falling out the car, right? And they see this flash of light. And then they actually stopped the car, come and get me. And I didn't have any scars. I wasn't bleeding, anything. And I had on shorts, And all she kept on saying is that there's no way that he's not cut. He's not hurt. He's not bleeding. It's no way, because it was like 50 feet of tumbling.
Hey y'all, I'm Romania and welcome to My Story for His Glory. I believe that we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimony. I want you to understand that thing that you went through, that thing that you survived, is going to be the strength that a person next to you needs to make it through. So if you want to share your story, I need for you to contact us at 757-339-0372. Your story is worth being heard, and it's actually someone else's deliverance. Real life meets real deliverance on My Story for His Glory.
Now, you know what? We've been waiting for this part right here. So I want you to rewind a little bit, and I want you to take us and tell us the story of your sister and your journey to heaven.
Oh, yeah. That gave me goosebumps. Man. Yeah, so back when she was like 5, I used to always drop her off to nursery. I used to come and get her. But so every time she used to I'd come in the door, she always used to run and say, hey, big brother. She always called me that, right? And just run and jump in the air. I grab her and spin her around and we like walk home. And so it was a spot in the area. And I kept on saying, this is where heaven's at. It's streets of gold and angels are flying up and everything. And, this is where we're going to be one day. And she was like, can we take a plane up there or a train? And I was like, nah, you got to die to go to heaven, And it's going to be between you, God, and Jesus, right? And that 5 years old believe in everything. So every time we used to walk past the spot, she'd say, hey, that's heaven up there. And I'd be like, yeah, we're going to go one day. And that day came soon in 2009. 2009, she actually passed away. Let me just rewind. The night before, I had a dream. Now, 2 weeks straight, she was calling me for like 2 weeks straight every day. And we would talk. And, oh man, I would just crack up and everything. But for 2 weeks straight, we would actually talk on the phone. And the last day I spoke to her, we was making all these kind of jokes. But every night I would have a dream about her, that she would turn this corner, start running towards me and jump, and I would grab her, spin her around, and we would just walk off. So this one night, I had the same dream. She come out, run into me, but this time she actually ran right through me, And if you never had a person in your dream run through you, oh man, that is the most scariest type of feeling. And if that do happen, I suggest you get up and you call whoever that person is. But that was her. And I knew right then and then that she was actually that she actually left. And that was rough for me. That was rough for me. And I just remember in 2009, when she came back, I was in my room and I heard this music in the hallways, and I kept on saying, I know my sons don't have the music on. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. It's blasting. I heard all this tamarines and everything playing, and it wasn't. And I was going back to my room, and I heard my sister's voice, and I was like, man, that's weird, you know. And I said, you know what? Let me just sit here at the table and see if I'm hearing everything right, because maybe I'm just hallucinating. I'm just tripping. So I sat there, and right when I was about to get up, I heard the music playing again. You know, music and spiritual music go through one ear out the other. You know, and I heard her voice, and I was like, "Oh, sis, if that's you, I can't hear you because the music is loud." And all the music went out, and I can hear her voice, and she's like, "Hey, big brother, it's me," just like that. And I just remember just getting up, and I burst out in tears. And when I had my eyes closed, I could see her, you know. So I didn't want to have my eyes closed because I was like, man, what was that? I was like, man, what was that? And I just remember just, you know, I had my eyes all, you know, wide, and I'm like, man, I don't want to have my eyes closed because I see her, you know. And when I did blink again, I saw her again, and she's reaching out to me, and I'm like, man, what is going on, you know?
This
she
is
said,
how
hey,
many days after she passed, Quest?
A day or two maybe, you know. And I just remember just her reaching out to me, and I'm like, man, you know, this seems so real. This seems so real. And then all of a sudden it was an image, and next thing you know, I could see her clearly. And she said, hey, brother, remember when I was 5 years old and you showed me how heaven looked? And I was like, yeah. And she said, well, God told me that I can come down here and show you heaven. And I started crying again. And she said, but brother, hold it. You can't cry. You can't cry because in the spirit world, there's no tears, you know, there's no tears in heaven. And if you keep crying, you're not going to see what I have to show you. So I calmed myself down. She's like, you know, take some deep, you know, breaths, calm myself down. And I was like, hold up. So you mean to tell me that we're going to heaven? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to show you heaven, you know? And I started crying. Man, I was like a big baby. I'm telling you. Yeah. I started crying because I don't scare easy because off my training, but that made me so nervous because now I'm thinking like, okay, how are we gonna get to heaven? You know, I didn't die, you know. And then I kept on saying, hold up, am I dying right now? And she was like, no, silly, you know, no, silly, you know.
I would ask too.
Right. So as we started like walking and we started floating, I just happened to actually look back. And there was a guy at my table. And I said, yo, sis, hold up. Why is a guy at my table? And she's like, silly, that's you at the table. And I mean, what do you mean it's me? And she's like, that's you at the table. And I could zoom in real quick and see me. You know, I have my head down and I could see myself. And it looks, having an out-of-body experience, you won't even recognize yourself at all, you know? And so I'm just looking like, damn, hold up. I'm that big? I'm that, you know, huge, right? Because I just look different, you know? It just look different. And we just went to heaven, you know? We went to heaven. It was so phenomenal as far as like, because I just remember just going through the ceiling and it was all white. And it was like a coldness, you know, a coldness. And it's all white, foggy. Next thing you know, you start seeing like clouds, right? And I'm in the clouds, right? So I see this dove flying next to me. And I'm like, wow, this is really neat, right? You know? And she's like, oh yeah, this is how you do it in heaven, right? Now we're in paradise. And I just remember just, you know, her just flying around, doing tricks in the sky, figure eights, everything. And I'm trying to do the same thing, but I couldn't because I haven't passed over yet. And that's when my training started, right? Then and there. That's when God was showing me these are the stages that you go through in heaven, you know? And it was just stages and stuff that we, you know, her and I was just going through. And I just remember just when we actually went through the clouds and stood up there, it was all clouds. And I just remember just seeing this huge TV. I thought it was a TV because even in heaven, I could be myself. It wasn't like I was in heaven and was like, oh, this is heaven, you know? I, I was myself, right? You know, cracking jokes. I was myself. Like, man, hold up. You know, this, you know, maybe this. And I thought it was a huge TV, but it wasn't, right? Mm-hmm. So I tried to touch it, and it moved back. And then when she came up on it, it actually came up on her. And when she touched it, it lit up. And then I kept hearing this baby cry. And I kept on saying, I know that cry. I heard that cry before. And I said, hold up, that's your cry as a baby, you know? And I just remember God speaking to her, and she's at the book of life. And God is showing her every photo of your life is right there. From the time you're a baby to the time you actually cross over. And you standing right there at the book of life, and God is asking you questions. And the first question that I heard him say, did you forgive Michelle? And she said, yeah, I forgave her. After that, I didn't hear anything. So everything I was looking at, I was taking it in, you know, forgiveness, right? But again, God asked her, hey, did you forgive? Because a lot of people don't forgive people, you know? And yeah, and so we just kept on going through stages in heaven, you know? And oh man, I tell you, there's a fountain in heaven that has water, and she was drinking this water, and it was going down, you know, a spirit lit up, you know, a nice blue. So I'm trying to drink the water because I want what she has, right? But it's not lighting up, you know, again, because I haven't crossed over. And again, God is just showing me everything that, you know, is happening. And I just remember just going through all these stages, you know, and then we encountered these angels, you know, and that was, when I'm a kid, to see angels is different from now that I'm in heaven and I'm seeing these angels, because it's nothing like I saw when I was a kid. Now I'm in heaven and I'm seeing these angels, and when they came up on me, they were huge, huge, 12 feet.
Wow.
Huge. And when I look back at my sister, first thing I said is, because I smell sugar cookies, right? Because angels smell like sugar cookies, right? There was nobody. I mean, there was nothing in hand. You know, having first response, me and my sister in the book of life, right? Next thing you know, I'm like, sis, you smell that? And she's like, smell what? I'm like, I smell sugar cookies. And she was like, I do smell sugar cookies. And next thing you know, out the clouds, we see these, you know, angels coming towards us. And I remember just standing in front of her, like a big brother, you know, and they came upon us, and they both spoke at the same time, which I thought was amazing, you know, because they talk in harmony. And I'm like, wow, you guys talk, right? You guys talk in harmony? And they was like, yes, Quest. And I was like, yo, they know my name, right? Yeah. You talk about mind blowing, right? I'm like, yo, they know my name. Like, what? You know? And they, you know, smiling and laughing. And I'm like, hold up, angels laugh? You know? And they was like, yes, you know? And I'm like, man, who was going to believe what I'm saying? You know? And they say, oh, you're not believing what you're singing? You know? And I'm like, no, it's not that. It's the fact that it's just so much to take in, you know? And I just kept on saying, man, this is phenomenal. This is phenomenal, you know? And I look back at my sister, and she's like, I don't have any questions. And I was like, why you not have any questions? You know? But I didn't understand at the time. But it was me learning everything in heaven because she's there already, you know? And I just found myself just asking questions, you know? You know, I was like, so are y'all walking or y'all floating? You know, because it was like a cool walk or a cool float, you know? So I asked that question. Are we walking? And of course I didn't answer it, but we just, you know, went to the next stage.
What was the next stage?
In the next stage, there's this bright light, and this is probably the same light everybody talks about. It's like, man, this light is so strong, and that it actually pulls you in. you know. And my sister actually went through first. And I kept on saying, well, hold up. I just want to make sure that I didn't die. Because this is a light. I think everybody's talking about the same light, right? Like, I'm gonna go to the light, right? And I kept on saying, man, listen, y'all sure I didn't die, right? And they're like, I didn't die, right? So I go through the light, and it is so bright, the light, and next thing you know, you start seeing all this sparkleness, right? All the sparkle, and we come up on the kingdom, the kingdom. And we came up on it, and they had like 5-foot roses around the whole kingdom, right? And they had diamonds on the side of the kingdom. And I'm just touching them, and I'm like, man, these are like diamonds, right? And it was just so gorgeous, I kept on telling my sister, man, I cannot believe, man, like, I'm standing right here with you, and I'm touching all these diamonds on the side of the kingdom, and I kept on saying, listen, we have to go inside, but I didn't see a door yet. And I just remember it was just me and my sister standing here, and then the angel stood here, and the other one angel stood there, and then their wings was like spread out, and next thing you know, there was this door appeared. Now I can't tell you how the door opened. I just know that the door appeared and it opened up. And I just remember just seeing a blue ray of light just shining through, and we walked in the kingdom.
Wow.
And right when I walked in, I just happened to look up, and I saw all these people, and I kept on saying, "Oh, these people," and it was like, "Nah, these are angels waiting to get called, on earth."
Well, wait a minute now. Say that again. Say it again one more time, Quest.
When I walked in, I saw nothing but angels standing around waiting to get called to earth. Because a lot of people don't call upon angels.
So we got angels that are just sitting around waiting.
Sitting around waiting to be called.
To be called.
To be called.
To do what, Quest?
Help us in need of anything, A lot of people don't believe, but they believe,
Mm-hmm.
You start talking about angels, you get people saying, angels, I don't, but I'm like, no, listen, they real,
Mm-hmm.
It's real,
Mm-hmm.
As a kid to an adult, now I'm in the kingdom looking at angels waiting to get called.
Mm-mm. Wow.
Yeah. And that's why I tell everybody, man, hey, you think it's a joke? Ain't no joke. Because I get asked all the time, why do you think it happened to you? Why do you think God showed you heaven? Of all people, you ain't no pastor, you ain't no bishop, none of that. I just said because I have a message. God wanted somebody like me, somebody like me with the testimony, everything that I went through, to come to heaven and say, hey, it's going to be okay. If you believe and if you keep your faith 100%, because a lot of people online, on the phone, don't have 100% faith.
They don't believe. And
they
we
don't
got to
believe.
And I like how you said that, like your sister, because I know that, that you had mentioned one time before when we were talking that your sister was, in church, she was saved, and she could not understand why God, wait a minute, I know what my Bible at, where your Bible at? Why God showing you all these things? But God took this ordinary guy and it showed him this, it's given him these extraordinary gifts, and it's shown him this extraordinary thing, and now he has this extraordinary message. If I say extraordinary one more time, to bring back to the people. I love that he chose you. He is not a respecter of person. He chooses who he wants to choose, and he uses who he chooses to use. Period.
Yes. Period. The same. It's the same way it happened to me. It can happen to anybody, and that's what I believe. And so I didn't want to come back from heaven. You know, the colors, you know, how it smell. I didn't want to come back at all.
What were the colors like, Quest?
Well, every time I paint, I try to use the same colors, or I try to get my colors to almost the exact colors to what I saw in heaven. You know, the metallic, bright colors with sparkling. You know, everything is alive. You know, the roses. You know, I came up on the roses, and the roses bowed to me. You know, and it was so lifelike. You know, and they spit out this glitter, and that glitter just went on all the grass. The grass started shimmering, this nice, pretty green color, all the way around the whole kingdom. You know, so in my paintings, I try to have that same vibe. You know.
And we're going to get to see some of his paintings, guys, where you can see how his visit to heaven influenced his art. And then you didn't used to do any art prior to this experience. Isn't that right, Quest?
I wasn't doing no paintings or anything, because all that was gone. You know, I was mad at God, you know, and God woke me up one day and was like, man, Quest, you're going to be painting for the world to see. And I said, God, you tripping. You're going to wake me up. I was sleeping good too. I said, you're going to wake me up and tell me this nonsense? Nah, dog, you tripping, because I don't even paint. You know? And again, this is discipline, because he gave me the instructions what to do. And he said, nah, I want you to go down to I said, God, you know why you tripping? Because at that time frame, I only had $8 to my name, because I was going through my accident. I wasn't working. I was on workers' comp, and everybody know comp don't really pay you like that, right? So I had $8 to my name, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm gonna get some nachos, I'm gonna get some non-laters, you know, and a Slurpee. That's $8. That's what I was thinking. And God was like, "Nah, you're gonna take that $8 and go get a frame and some art supplies." And I said, "God, you tripping?" And he gave me the instructions from A to B, and I followed them. I went out to the thrift store. He said, the first canvas you see, you get that one. I walk in the store, I see a canvas, I get it. You know how much it was? $7.99. I was mad at God, because I was like, you know what, God, you really tripping, because I got $8, now I got to spend my last $8 on it. You know, so at that time frame too, I'm talking out loud, because I couldn't control my feelings on my thoughts, right? So I'm talking out loud, and people like staring like, "Oh, he crazy, girl, he crazy," right? You know. Man. I just remember like I was saying, "Yo, dude, crazy, he talking to himself." But I was like, "God, you tripping right now?" Because I got $8. God is like, "Don't worry about it. It's gonna happen." I went to the cash register, and they said, "Oh, guess what day it is?" I said, "What day?" They was like, "It's half off day." I said, "Really?" You know, so I'm thinking in my head, okay, half off, I can still get some non-laters, right? Some Skittles or something, right? You know, I was just like, okay. So she's like, oh, and by the way, this canvas is actually torn. So that's another $2. So I'm thinking in my head, like, wow, okay, hold up. God said $8. All I need is $8. That canvas was only $2. And I walked up the store with a canvas that was $2. And next thing you know, I went to Home Depot. I got my paint and my supplies, all $8. And I made my first painting.
So with that $8, you were able to get everything you needed to make your first painting.
Everything I did. $8.
And when you guys see his artwork, I'm telling you, it's absolutely beautiful. But Quest, we have a question up here. Where they ask, how do we, and I think she means activate the angels in our walk?
You gotta just pray for them and ask for them. You know, you just gotta just ask for them, and they will come.
Because they're sitting there and they're waiting.
They're
sitting there and they're waiting for us.
Waiting. As I stood there, I seen angels like disappear. And I knew that someone probably called them and everything. you know. But a lot of them were just standing around, just waiting. So, yep, you just call upon them, and they're right there.
And they're right there. They're
if
right
you start
there.
smelling anything, if you start smelling anything burnt or sugar cookies, yeah.
They're right there. And they smell like
It's
sugar
real.
cookies, y'all.
Yeah. You gonna probably smell like a little burnt stench first, right? And then you're gonna smell that kind of like something like somebody's baking a cake or something.
Well, I think we probably, you know, everybody, God deals with all of us differently, you know,
Right.
and so he does, you know, they might smell like sugar cookies to you, and they might smell like
Yeah.
cinnamon toast to me. I don't know. But the thing is that angels are real, and that they're
Yes.
sitting there in heaven waiting to be
Yes.
dispatched to go
Yes.
forth and help us
Help
fulfill
everybody out.
to do the thing that God has called us to do. And then you heard him say about being obedient. Obedience is the key. You know what I'm saying? Even down to his last $8. And when you see the artwork, which is what we're getting ready to talk about. So go ahead. As far as heaven, how did that whole thing turn out? Your visit to heaven.
Oh, it was nice because in heaven I saw this huge tiger, and I kept on saying, "What is that about?" And I never questioned God, "What is that about?" until years later, and God told me, "Well, I told you before, but you probably wasn't listening."
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "It means absolute power, strength, and courage, and those are the three elements that you're going to need to get through what you're going to have to get through."
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "No, hold up. What do you mean get through what I had to get through? I ain't going through anything." And then I had my accident.
Mm.
So God knew. It was like, you know, you need those three elements to get through.
Mm.
You know, power, strength, and courage. And I thought, wow, okay. And that's what I was saying. Everything that God was saying that was going to happen, it happened. You know, it was happening. I didn't want to believe it was happening, but it was happening. And then I took all my denial out. I said, you know what? I can't do this no more. I can't be in denial who I am and what God is trying to show me. So we should never be in denial of what God is trying to show you.
Never.
But what I will ask is, it seems like in different stages of your life, do you think you had different angels? Like you had the angel that played the frisbee, you had the angel that saved you multiple times. Do you think it was the same one, or do you think there was just a host at different stages of your life?